biggity, biggity, Virgo. Here we are, Virgo, and here's your reading for July 2019. Let's get the usual out of the way. You can use this reading here, Virgo, for your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and or North Node signs. And also, too, Virgo, whatever resonates for you in this reading, go ahead and apply it, Virgo, to where it fits, how it fits, and to whom it fits within your life at this point in time. As it can, the messages that resonate, they can relate to many different areas of your life. Also, too, Virgo, before we get started here, as I was meditating on your energy here and popping out your cards, Virgo the Regal came through that sentence, and I was like, okay, regal meaning like something that can be like deemed as something that's like suitable for a king or a queen because it's like it's very impressive or something that's very beautiful. Regal in that sense. Also, too, Virgo, whatever messages you get or whatever downloads you get from the imagery of the cards here, that's your own special intuitive download and messages from your spiritual guidance, okay, from upstairs. All right, Virgo. This month, Virgo, there's a real need, I feel, for going over, Virgo, in terms of like going over what it is that you would like to accomplish. You know, whether it's this month, whether it's in life, whatever the case may be. But what it is that you want to accomplish, you know, are you very positive and sure, or can you at least be somewhat positive and sure that it will be what it is that you really want, Virgo? Now, I know that sounds like a contradictory type of question because we don't really know until we get there, you know? But what I'm trying to say here, Virgo, or what's coming through, it's like what we really want and what we want to obtain, is it really from the heart and from the soul? And as we are going about attempting to obtain whatever it is that we feel we want and we need and where we want to kind of get to, through the process of that, Virgo, are you finding yourself, or are you finding your emotions? Are you finding your emotional vibration or emotional frequency to be peace, or to be in a very peaceful type of manner or vibration? Do you find solace and peace within your decisions? You know, because if we find ourselves, Virgo, like striving and striving and striving, and we find ourselves like having to use our power and will over other individuals, or it's a very hard process in getting there, or if we find ourselves constantly meeting opposition and finding ourselves in like in arguments, or finding ourselves in opposition with other people, a lot of the times, Virgo, that may be a sign that it may not be right for you, or the ways as to which you're going about it may be incorrect or not aligned with your will and the will of the universe and the will of God, in a sense. And also, too, Virgo, it can also mean too, like, what is your relationship with the truth of a situation? You know what I mean? Or the effective relationship with the truth of the situation. Do you completely understand the truth of the situation, or what is required to obtain whatever it is that you're trying to do, you know, or where you're trying to get with or get to? And like through this process, Virgo, you know, we can find ourselves like also finding it difficult to like accept when we miss the mark, or when we're, you know, quote unquote wrong in a sense. Like we can sometimes have like an overt belief system, you know what I mean, where that can lead to like possible delusionment. And what I'm trying to say here in terms of delusionment, it's like having the wrong relationship with like I said, the truth of this situation. You know, one way, Virgo, that we can avoid a lot of what we talked about is to always look at situations, Virgo, with like or approach situations with a positive mind, with a negative mind, or with the neutral mind. When we look at situations or approach situations with like positive input or with the positive mind, there we only focus on like the advantage of the situation. With like negative input or with a negative mind, we are only focusing then on the disadvantage of the situation. But the best thing to do is to look at things or approach situations with a neutral mind or with a neutral input, where it's like we don't veer off only to the positive input or only to the negative input. You know what I mean? We acknowledge the positive and the negative input or the advantage or disadvantage of the situation, but we don't stick to only one side of the spectrum. So when we do this, Virgo, we acknowledge it, but we don't stick to one side. We remain neutral, and here is where like we develop sound judgment. Here's where we can utilize like the integration of the ability to like recognize what's actually best for us and to see clearly what the truth of the situation is and how to approach it. And here, like, using the neutral inputter with the neutral mind, here's like where success and achievement is ultimately gained. Where it's like not necessarily like through the strength or through having a strong will or imposing a strong will, but it's more about through your awareness and your perception or perspective of the truth of the situation, through properly using all of your senses in a very cohesive manner, through neutral input or with a neutral mind. Where it's like we may find ourselves like having to or needing to kind of like still convince other people and even ourselves that we are still right, even though we may completely and maybe blatantly obvious that we are not. Virgo, in me saying all of this has a lot to do with like where then the people that are around us, the company that we keep, if they challenge us in any way regarding like challenge our authority or challenge our belief systems in a sense, that's where then we can kind of view that as like being like betrayal when it really isn't. And that's where we can like through this process too, like we can like maybe expect others to like defend the values of the pride, you know? And all of this, Virgo, it's like a domino effect, that can lead to having just the wrong relationship with the truth of a situation, whatever that may be. It can lead to what I just spoke of. It's like that individual or that person. Like, let's say if like your head gets cut off, right? It's like like a stump head, and that head is still screaming and yelling, "Come on, then! I'll still bite your legs off." And it's like, you're still going? You know what I mean? It can be perceived like that, or it can happen like that. And a lot of that has to do when we, or do with, or comes from the wrong relationship with the truth of the situation. And here's where like we can like misguide, or we can have a misguided understanding of what loyalty is to us. And we would like expect all of that loyalty from other people, places, and things to be aligned with possible delusionment when we don't have the right relationship or the correct relationship with the truth of the situation, which can also lead to like us being like arrogant and prideful. And in this process too, Virgo, like, we can have a skewed understanding of just what loyalty really is, even loyalty to our own delusionment and loyalty to our own soulful growth and soulful path and the correct trajectory that we need to take, or the actions we need to take to align ourselves with that correct path, So it's like not being loyal to ourselves and not being loyal to our soulful intention for reincarnating, and just loyalty to the truth of the situation in general. Virgo, like, I know I just kind of said a mouthful, but we can see how this can lead to a lot of that, where one thing after the other can lead to that, like it's like a buildup. Virgo, I feel like this month is going to be a lot of like understanding that, and understanding like when we obtain something that we feel like we really want and we really need, when we find that we're meeting so much opposition, we're like, it's probably not maybe right for us. Now, that's not saying that it never will be right for us, just maybe at that time it's not. And sometimes, Virgo, we can work so hard to obtain that which isn't right for us, and maybe still somehow obtain it. And then when we finally have it, when we obtain it, Virgo, like, who's really around to enjoy it with us? And who's around for you to enjoy it with other individual people, places, and things, when we operate from the ego and we operate from a skewed perception of loyalty and all the things that we just, discussed. So this month, I just feel, Virgo, like it's going to be a lot of, there's going to be a lot around understanding that, and understanding the emotional, what's your underlying motivations for the things that you are doing and the things that you want, And if you find yourself having to defend your wants and your needs, that's where then we can look at that as like I'll say a red flag, but as an opportunity to look within and see if we are on the correct path and why we're on that path, and does it positively serve us, and is it in line with our moral compass and with the will of God and with the will of the universe and with the will of why we're here. Interesting, Virgo. Let's go ahead and read from the book here, the card context in the center there. So Virgo, here context speaks of interpreting one piece of the puzzle in isolation, and how that can lead to error, how it can lead to like error, and avoiding reading too much into something. Taking in the fuller picture will take time and effort, but it will bring the perspective required. A flyaway comment or aside means nothing on its own, An overreaction or misunderstanding causes unnecessary fireworks, where it's like truer meaning comes with broader context. Here, Virgo, it's like there is no need to discriminate, separate, or label things as good or bad. We are one spirit, one life, one breath, living one eternal moment. Dividing life into categories brings suffering and creates imbalance. Ours is a never-ending story, full of new beginnings and adventures, just in general, We need to embrace it and live it, love it, be it, invent it, create it, believe it, dramatize it, write about it, meditate on it, breathe it, and then be healed and invigorated by it, and to be joyful because of it. And above all, remember that you are it. Hope that makes sense, Virgo, But all right, that completes your reading here, Virgo, for July 2019. Go ahead and visit intuitiveperceptions.com for all of your booking and services needs. And as always, Virgo, God bless and love and light.